What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, man. My name is DivaTequila. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We're back on our Overwatch grind, and it feels so good. I didn't play Overwatch at all last season. I was caught up playing X Defiant and then some Marvel Rivals and such. But Season 12 has brought me back in, so the content's going to return with that. So I'm back on my Moira grind for ranked. I did finish up my placement games last night. Very happy to report that we got placed in Plat 4. So, we still got it a little bit. We come out this game, we're immediately trying to be as aggressive as possible, throwing out our damage orbs. I'm taking different angles, we're fading back and forth, trying to keep the tank supported. I see the tank is diving Ash, so I full on commit to that with her. Then we go ahead and fade back out, keeping the tank full health, keeping our support full health, trying my best to balance my resources accordingly, you know what I mean? With Moira is very much so a chess game in terms of giving and taking positioning and also knowing when to use which resource. I'm obviously not 100% perfect at it, you know what I mean, but her cooldown management and her resource management is huge because when you're choosing to do damage, you're not choosing to heal and vice versa. So you kind of have to determine every second of the game which one's going to give you more value. If you can secure a kill on a squishy, a lot of the times that's going to be huge, you know what I mean? But also, if your tank is going to die, you got to make sure your tank doesn't die. So here we secure a kill on a squishy and we're able to keep our tank alive. We did have to fade to get away, but then our fade is back up. The beautiful thing about Moira, right, is that her fade is so versatile in terms of getting into aggressive positions and also playing defensively, and it doesn't have that long of a cooldown either. So we're really dominating the point here early. Feels good. By the way, I hope you've all been doing well. I love you. I miss you. This is the longest stretch I've gone in posting videos in the last 9 months or so. But there's ebbs and flows of energy, especially I've got a baby. I work from home. I'm playing a lot of rugby lately, so I'm doing what I can, man. I appreciate those of y'all for sticking around. So we go ahead and we continue to maintain our aggression on the point. I will say, watching this back, obviously I enjoy watching these things back so I can point out what I think you should be doing, but also point out my mistakes so I get better as well. I don't like where I ended up with my fade there. I put myself directly into the middle of the point. I probably should have put myself under like the side pillars over there, kind of where the Junkrat is standing at the moment. That is what it is though. I rush in here early so that way I can go ahead and get the last bit of charge for my ult. We throw out a damage orb real quick, throw a little bit of heals out. We've got the Kitsune going. Go ahead and hit that coalescence real quick to finish everybody off. Oh, and we get the objective secured. So very, very dominant first round. You love to see it. I think this was like this was probably like my 7th placement game. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter, obviously, but so something like my 7th placement game. I didn't play at all last season, so getting back into it, the first couple games were definitely a little bit rusty, you know what I mean? I've been playing different styled shooter games. Actually, like the whole last 2 weeks before this, I was playing like an arcadey single player game mode to pass the time. It's called Soulstone Survivors. Shout out on Steam. Pretty dope little way to pass the time. But you can see here, we immediately try to get aggressive. I follow up my tank so we can pick off the squishies. Kariko was also extremely aggressive with me this game. I'm not going to lie, the trio this game of me, the D.Va, and the Kariko played insanely well. Not taking anything away from our DPS, they did extremely well as well. You can see the Widow gets a headshot, finish off the tank, beautiful. But you'll see when I pull up the stat line at the end, you can tell by the pacing of this game that myself, the D.Va, and the Kariko were really in sync with each other. We were kind of getting boogie. I don't play on voice chats. I don't spend too much time talking with the randoms because it's just not it's not for me. And then I get picked out by the Sombra there. I feel like that was an example of overstaying my welcome. You know what I mean? Our Widow got picked off. They were applying pressure on our tank. I was still trying to hug the little off angle for when they came through. And I need to react quicker. As soon as I notice that I'm starting to get hacked by Sombra, I just need to immediately initiate the fade out, And I do think, sadly, that death right there is what lost us the point. So I have to accept my my individual responsibility in us not dominating this game anymore. And I could point fingers all day, but that doesn't really help me progress at all, you know what I mean? Ooh, getting a call real quick. I'll edit this out, chat. Be right back. Okay. My apologies. I'm gonna pick up where I left off, and you can start to see why I've struggled putting out some content lately. Between work and I have baby boy at home with me, rugby, the dogs, blah 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 blah. It can get hard sometimes, but I do love it. I'm at a very happy place in life, so we'll pick right back up where we left off. If it'll play. All right, there we go. Yeah. So again, I've got to accept my own individual responsibility here for losing the point. I wished on this little last second right here where I got low health. I don't think that the Kiriko should have followed me to heal me up. Actually, let me rewind so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, literally right here. So I get to the point right here where I hit low health, and the Widow is sniping at me on the side, but when I fade away, I've already utilized one big support cooldown to stay, close to the fight. But then when Kiriko TPs after me, now we've used both of our mobility abilities, and the tank is left isolated on the point. So I think that I would have healed up just fine. I think Kiriko should have stayed on the point, and that's not faulting her at all. Again, I don't do voice chat or anything like that, so. But you'll see here, I'm trying to keep Diva alive. She's half health-ish, but we're doing some good work here. Sombra goes in, she gets the hack off. I don't even know if she got the hack off, but then she TPs out. We're doing pretty decent. When I fade out here, I'm at 80 health. So I don't and I'm not close enough there. That split second right there, I wasn't close enough to heal the Diva. Would have been really nice if Widow could have fucked off for the most part. But yeah, if Kiriko had stayed on the tank, I think that we still win that engagement. But that's okay. Again, I probably needed to have found out where the Widow was at faster and avoided that area. Again, I go too far away to keep my teammate alive. They die out. Sombra dodges my heals. But we do get a couple picks there. Unfortunately, the Sombra still dies. We get a pretty big ult here. Could be a big ult. We can get some kills. We get the Sombra. We get the tank as well. We should be able to recap off of this. We take out the Mercy. Big Moira plays, you know what I mean? Big stepper. Chillin', man. Chillin'. So now we just gotta kind of wait for them to come back. I think, I don't remember if this is the game that we end up pushing up too far here. We get the pick on their Widow, which is beautiful. So now they're staggered. We really should take advantage of this moment, but their Sombra picks off our Hanzo, and me trying to dive to the Hanzo who was slacking behind, I get dove on by the Reinhardt. Very good dash, dive, whatever by the Reinhardt, but in hindsight, obviously I wouldn't have faded to the Hanzo. I would have just had to let the Hanzo die there. Should just let the Hanzo die. It is what it is. Doing my best to get back here on point. I get hindered by the cast, so I try to take a different angle here. Oh, we low-key could have had cast there, but the Mercy was pocketing, made that really hard. Trying my best here to just dodge a little bit, get back to point. I don't want to get staggered here, but there's really not much we can do now. We don't have a tank. I try to end up getting on point for overtime, but they're holding it off so well. I guess maybe if I hadn't fallen all the way back there and just gone behind them instead and kind of hid, I could have gotten back on point and contested that overtime, but tomatoes, it's hard, There was definitely a couple misplays there that I could have done differently, but that's okay. That's part of why I enjoy doing these things, so that way I can continually improve as well. So our Diva has now swapped to Winston, which I am absolutely a fan of, especially with the fact that we have a Sombra. The Hanzo's playing well, but he's also not really, it's not like he's utilizing the Diva defense matrix or anything. Kiriko and Moira also have very high mobility, so I think Winston just kind of fits better here. Also, Winston's just in a really strong place in this current meta. We dive through the Reinhardt so we can get on point and help our team contest here, or cap here. The only one left is the Reinhardt. He's way behind the point. I recognize that, so I do my best to try to get over here so we can continue the stagger. Everybody converges on him, and bada bing, bada boom, baby. We get the big stagger. Pretty huge there. I hear them shooting around the corner here, so at very least I'm going to get a little bit more ult charge, but you know, best case I pressure them off of Sombra. Would have liked to have gotten an early pick there, but we don't. That's okay. I should have bounced that heal orb off the wall to my right, so we could have got a couple more bounces on Hanzo, but that's okay. And then Winston goes full Winton mode, which is fine, but I had backed off to try to heal the Hanzo and had already used my heal orb, so unfortunately wasn't too much I could do there. They've now swapped to an Orisa, which is obviously very frustrating to deal with. It is what it is. You gotta turn up, you gotta lock in. You gotta search within you and find that inner strength and just pull that shit out of you. I actually wrote those lines for Marshall Mathers, by the way. Shout out M. Big up. See the Sombra behind us. At this point I'm starting to try to like listen heavily to where the Sombra's trying to hack, just so I can try to keep my DPS alive. They're really struggling here heavily. Not of a major fault of their own, but they are getting picked out. It happens, but thankfully as soon as the Sombra starts to try to hack there, we all jump on her. We get some big damage down on her. We're able to keep everybody alive through it all. Their Moira activates ult, so I go ahead and try to counter with mine as well, so that way it's kind of like a coalescence battle and keeping everybody else on our team at full resource. And it wins for us. It works out very well. The Mercy had put herself in a little bit of a funky position, so I was able to get her to half health, and we were able to get the early pressure there. And we're good. We're good to go. We're back on a nice little kill streak. We're rolling. We're grooving. We've also got 3 ults for this upcoming fight. They have 3 ults. Actually, they're about to have 4. So we used 2 ults there, but 2 ults, in my opinion, that were very well timed and allowed us to cap the point. I have regrets. I have regrets there. My positioning wasn't horrible, but I didn't at all check my left side. I didn't at all check my left side knowing that window's there, and I also didn't react anywhere near quick enough. Like, at all. At all. So we lose the Winston ult there for free, essentially. Although they did Mercy ult, but they didn't do, 3 of their, like, big ults. But the second I got shot by Ashe the first time, I should have instantly faded out. I should have instantly faded out. I should have recognized that she wasn't directly in my line of sight, meaning that I either got flanked or she's beside me. We do get the Mercy here, which I felt like was a beautiful little proactive play on my part. That's an example of sometimes where you need to... Oh my fucking god. That's an example of sometimes where you need to play a little bit aggressive. But then they drop all 3 of their big ults, and that's what we were kind of worried about. They drop their Bob on point, they drop their EMP, and they hit their Resold. So we all get stuck in just a big old wave of fuckery. But you can see here, it's at 98%. It's at 99% overtime. 99% overtime. And they just used all 3 of their ults. Realistically, they should have saved 1 for this counter push right here. I don't think that they thought we were going to get back in time. But alas, here we are. Here we are. I'm dancing around these pillars, trying to make sure I'm staying in cover for my team. I'm trying to use my heal orbs as effectively as possible, trying to keep them bouncing. This shit got intense, son. We took out 2 of them, one of which being a support, which is huge. The Mercy gets burned down as well. The tank is on his heels. Tank got fried out. All that crouch spamming they did didn't mean shit. Didn't mean shit, Diva gang. Easy dubs, baby. I'm honestly didn't even sweat it. Didn't even sweat it. We get the EMP down as soon as the Reaper steps on point, which is actually pretty massive because it makes it to where he can't stall any longer. We instantly get the kill there. Get the Moira right afterwards. Cooking. I drop my ult. We get the Tracer. Reaper comes back. Reaper fucking dies as well. Diva gets bodied. Big dubs. We finish up on a nice 10 kill streak. This is why I enjoy playing ranked, is for these back and forth games, these close finishes. They make me very happy to be a part of. Very enjoyable for me. Let me pull up the scoreboard real quick. I think I got this set up correctly. There we go. Good enough. Whatever. Yeah, you can see here that it was a pretty solid game. Like I said, the tank and me and Kariko were very well in sync. I actually outdamaged both of my DPS while still having, a nice little 8,400 heals. I out-healed their Moira and doubled her damage. So I'll take my fair share of the credit. I'm not gonna say I carried. I think our tank was extremely good, obviously, but it was nice, man. It's been enjoyable to get back into Overwatch. I appreciate you for sticking around this long. Subscribe if you aren't already. Leave a like. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're feeling about Season 12 early impressions. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Peace.